Greetings. It's a very nice day here in Mid-Coast, Maine, in the middle of March. It's March 15th, and we're getting to the point where if I don't do something like what I'm planning on doing today, I won't be able to do it for quite a while. So the plan is to neaten up this area, and for those of you who've watched some of my videos on sustainable harvesting, you may recognize the butt of that log, or not the butt, but the stump of that log, and that was the leaning dead tree. And so this area here sustained some natural disaster. That stump over there and that one over there, those two trees were blown over in a storm in 2017. And I'm going to pan up, and when they went down, you could see that limb on that maple tree got snapped off, and it really cleaned out this area. But if I don't take care of this area, I'm going to get more of what I have. And literally, by taking this tree out and then that one, I've opened this up, and here it is. It's spring, and look how much sunlight's coming in here. So picture this in the summertime. It's 10:30 in the morning, and this will just be completely illuminated with a higher rays of sun, and stuff will grow. So what I'm doing is I've got it started on the accumulating some underbrush here by cutting it up with a chainsaw, and I'll show you what that looks like. I've already recorded that. And then I'll start a fire here. The wind's coming from behind me today, even though there's not much of a breeze. I expect that the breeze will pick up as the day goes on. And so I'm burning this part first, because if I burn this one and it does want to decide to move that way, which the prevailing wind is today, that's going to get caught up. And I think I started to allude to, if I don't do this pretty soon, I won't be able to do it until it greens up, because the state won't let me have a burn permit. I'm actually surprised I got one today. There's quite a bit of leaf matter from last year, and I want to be really careful because the top layer is dry right now, and that's why they gave me a permit. But down below it's still really wet, so it'd be kind of hard to maintain combustion. But you get the breeze to pick up, and warmer, drier days, they won't give you a permit until it starts to, the underbrush starts to grow, and then it's almost impossible to burn anything. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Hopefully this will turn out good. Want to be really cautious. I've got some tools here that I'll bring in. Always want to have a spade and an iron rake. I've got a pitchfork here someplace, and like a manure fork that you always want to have. And I'm not concerned about having the need for water here. So I've already gone through this area at least a couple of times with a chainsaw, cutting off poorly growing shrubs, brush, that kind of stuff. And so this isn't really like a live type thing or the initial. This is more just to give you some perspective. Alright, I hope the camera followed me over there a little bit to the left. So now that stuff's cut up into sort of like bite-sized pieces, I can congregate it more on the pile that's just beyond where I was working. Anybody ever dealt with bittersweet root or bittersweet plants? This here is one that was trying to find its way up into a tree, and it curled and curled and finally sent off a shoot, which I've cut. Look at the size of this one. This is all entangled into this shallow soil. This is all ledge. You can see that over there where the stump is, and over in here where I'm going to burn, there's hardly any soil here at all. This is pure ledge. So that bittersweet can grow and get its root systems up and down along the ledge. Look what it did to this white oak. It literally strangled it. And let's see if I can show you. Here's a red oak that's got it twisted around, and that'll just follow it up. For those of you down south, southern U.S., kudzu, I think is the name of it. It can be much more tenacious than bittersweet, but it's the same idea, and I'm sure there's all kinds of vines in all kinds of places. Fire's taken off really well. As I kind of suspected, there's quite a bit of dead combustible material there, and normally once you light a fire, you really need to get on it to keep it going. This kind of wasn't really the case, which makes me a little bit nervous today because of the conditions I already mentioned. For those of you who don't know much about fires and fire control, fires are like a three-legged stool. They require a fuel source, heat of combustion, and oxygen. You take away any one of those things and the fire will not burn. That was taught to me by a very smart man. Yes, that was my dad. And before he switched to naval aviation, he was aboard cruisers and battleships prior to World War II. And a fire is one of the most feared things on a ship. And everybody had to pretty much go through fire training, at least back in those days. And he taught me that lesson, and I have yet to get a fire to go without those three things. And I'm gonna put this down because you can see it a little bit over there on the left is traveling. And as I mentioned earlier, the wind definitely picks up. Just as soon as you light a fire, the wind picks up. I'm trying to be as proactive as I can. As I mentioned, the wind is blowing down towards the camera, and so I started collecting some of the dead and broken off limbs that are littering the forest floor, I guess, forest woods. And if I get rid of it in the way that I anticipate the wind is going to be blowing, then that's a fuel source that I don't have to worry about igniting where I don't want it to ignite. And despite, cutting with a chainsaw and cleaning up, you never get all of this stuff. Bigger stuff that I found over here. Probably could use some more tools, but at this point I'm kind of stuck with what I have because I don't really dare leave it. So I think the fire is coming along really well. This is where it started right here. This is where I ignited it. And for perspective, the right hand side here, what you see now, was the left hand side where I went in with the chainsaw and showed you how to clear that out. So that's, I've been feeding that stuff in. And this is the kind of stuff you discover when you're these little juvenile pines were hidden down in all of that brush, and that tree would not amount to anything, and it may never amount to anything if I don't take it out of there this spring and get it buried in to a deeper spot and where it can grow out. Because look, that's ledge. The tree, that type of tree, a white pine, is a very surface root tree, and it doesn't it can't live on a place like that. This one here that grew was able to do so because it could throw roots down along here and along there and down in through there. But when the wind really got at it, it just couldn't take it anymore. And this is the way it was when I cut it down with that nice big lean. So it's coming along good, making some progress. And I feel really good about this. Well, I think the area is cleaned up pretty nicely. I was able to pull up some more of the bittersweet, and I got it hanging over there on that chair, and I've got some more over here drying on the stump, and a little bit more over here. Was able to pull up quite a bit from this little fissure area that's actually quite a deep little cleft down in between these two ledge areas. and I'm just going to let this burn down, and I'll come back and check on it later. While I was doing some other things, I made a future pile down there in a low spot, and I think I found my next target tree. You can see how it's dying at the top. I've been trying to figure out just how I would drop it, because there's another one right directly behind it, and I can't go that way. I really don't want to cut that tree down. I think the best option is going to be to go right down, perhaps on top of that stump there with the 3 trunks. So I hope you like this. Your forestry practices need to be as low impact as possible. When you're doing your own land, you can do that. It's kind of a good idea. Thank you for watching.